What's going on? Ignore that. Let's continue. What's going on, Lynxes and Lynxettes? It is DJ Fallen Lynx. I am back again with another Pokemon Yellow ROM video. As you remember from yesterday's video, we finally found it. We found Cut. So, let's test lyrics. Oh, yeah. All the stuff I don't remember from. Yellow. Anyway, we are finally here. We are Lieutenant Surge. We are finally able to go after him. Alright, so I have Spearow, which isn't going to help me out much here. But Charmander and Bulbasaur might, as well as Pikachu, because Pikachu is level 26. I think what I will do is go try... I will go get Sandshrew back. That's a definite. That is a definite. And I've decided that I want all of the starters with me. So whenever I'm done with Sandshrew, I'll probably either be putting him or Spearow into the PC. Probably Sandshrew, because Spearow is my only flying type. Grab my level 12. Sandshrew's taken out. Turn it off. Let's go back this way. Alright, so as you can see, I just basically continued it off from where I was before. I didn't do much because I've kind of decided for myself that I'm going to do the progressional approach as to the every so often doing highlights, because then it would turn into highlight videos. And as you can see, he says the ship set sail. So the SS Anne is gone, which means I got Cut, which you see because I obviously just used it. So it is time to go put Sandshrew through some intense training, because I'm going to need a ground type for this electric type gym. Count on it. I'm going to need it to know some ground type moves like Dig, which I actually have the TM to, mind you. I think it's this one. That's Seismic Toss. Let's see, this one? Yes. I will teach Dig to Sandshrew. And if I remember right, yeah, it's a one-time use. Isn't it? Yeah, it's a one-time use. Let's see, so let's get it started with some of these Pokemon. Oh, that's a Jigglypuff. It's a level 5 Jigglypuff, but it's Jigglypuff. I will use Dig because I don't want to get hit by Sing. One shot. That would have been a bad thing if I had gotten hit by Sing, because more Jigglypuffs with their terrible voices. So let's go fight and Dig again. Sing, it didn't affect Sandshrew. Sandshrew hits Jigglypuff. One shot again. 76 XPs. Let's fight this guy with Sandshrew, because I have a feeling he has some Pokemon that are weak to ground types, hopefully. It's a bug catcher, which means... Oh, that is a... If I remember right, it's a bug flying, isn't it? So, ground type moves won't affect it, but let's try anyway. Sandshrew's underground. Sleep Powder. Dig. Just like I... Well, it didn't say didn't affect, so... I became confused. Just don't touch anything. Alright. Supersonic. It failed. Confused no more. Okay, missed. So let's just hit it with a scratch now. Supersonic. Leave the controls alone after this. There we go. And Sandshrew not really doing much, so I'm going to switch over to Pikachu. Probably could have picked Spearow, considering Spearow is a flying type. Pikachu is poison, which means that's I'm going to have to go get a Pokemon Center. That's a weird sound. Super effective. Fainted. 302. Level 13. Defeated Bug Catcher, which is a really great accomplishment. Alright. Pikachu shouldn't faint, but just to be safe, we will go straight there, taking no detours. Alright, I have 6 Pokemon with me, so it should fill up the table. Yeah. Look at that, guys. For the first time since we started, I filled up the table. Because I normally only carry the amount of Pokemon I need, and I usually only use 3 or 4. That's normally the number I try to stay around, is 3 or 4, but since there are 3 starters, since you can catch all 3 of the starters in this. Oh yeah, some people you can trigger a battle just by talking to. But since there are the 3 original starters that you can acquire, Pikachu, and the fact that I need a flying, that's probably the team I'm going to go with. So, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Pikachu, and Spearow is probably the team that I'm going to have for the predominant part of this. Let's see, Cubone. Let's use a Dig, because, you know, level 20s. Bone Club, Attack Missed, Dig. Oh, that is bad. I need to switch to Mankey. Switch. Because I don't want to switch to Pikachu, because isn't Cubone a ground type? I believe it is. So that's a headbutt. That took out about half my health. Let's do a low kick. Okay. Pikachu, you got this. You got this, bud. Alright. So, before we get any further into the video, 8 minutes, I've forgotten to talk about this for, I think, 2 episodes now. I am sorry, but I have to say thank you to House and EDM for giving me my first 2 comments on this series. It is really great, and I really appreciate it. And at this point, I believe I have 7 subscribers. At 10, I will be doing a special video. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet. But you'll know when you'll see it, because it'll be entitled 10 Subscribers Special. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 10, 25, 50, 100, 200, and 50, 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and then from there just go by every 1,000 until I hit 10,000, and then I'll do it every 10,000 until I hit 100,000. Then I'll do it by every 100,000, and so on and so forth. Item. Where's my old rod? Let's see what I got. Yes! Magikarp. Magikarp. You only know Slash, so I'm going to farm Magikarp until Sandshrew is like level 20. I think that's what I'll do. You know, I think the deal behind Splash being the only move that a Magikarp can know until it gets Tackle at like level 30 and evolves. I think there's like a 1 in 100 chance that it will actually do something. And if it actually does something, it'll be a one hit. Which I like to believe that, because that really does mean Magikarp is the strongest Pokemon in the game, besides Articuno, because I think Articuno and Magikarp are the only two Pokemon that come with a stock one hit. And the accuracy on them is extremely low. Because they wouldn't just put Splash in there as a move that didn't do anything for no reason. At least I don't think they would. I know Nintendo can be a bunch of trolls, but I respect them for being the only gaming corporation that actually cares about backwards compatibility. Because the GameCube could play Game Boy Advance, and I think it was both Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games. But the Game Boy Advance could play Game Boy Color games. The Nintendo double screen, the Nintendo DS, could play Pokemon. It could play Game Boy games. And the DSi is where they stopped the backwards compatibility until they hit the 3DS. The 3DS can now play Nintendo DS and Nintendo 3DS games. And the Wii can play GameCube games, and the Wii U can play Wii games. So they really are the only company that's actually believed in giving their users backwards compatibility, and that's why I've always respected them as a company. Now, they're not as big into some of the things that Microsoft and Sony are into, like the more multiplayer games like Call of Duty, Halo, Titanfall, games like that. But they are the only company that actually cares enough about their market to put in backwards compatibility on almost every single one of their devices. Which is why emulators are so good. Because I believe I know on the PC there definitely are. There are Nintendo DS emulators that are coded to play Game Boy Color games and Game Boy Advance games, and it's just really great. And I think there's even a PSP emulator as well. It's like PPSSPP, something like that. I've never used it, but I believe it's available for mobile devices as well. There's the Commodore, there's emulators for Atari and Sega. There's just a lot of really great stuff out there. And if I remember right, in this game, this version, the fishing, there was no actual way to lose the fish that was hooked, or lose the Pokemon that was hooked, I should say. So I could literally just go through the start menu and keep using my old rod as long as I could. Sandshrews level 13. I better stop talking and start playing. But basically, That is what I'm getting at. I mean, I know with the PS3, they came out with some models that were that had complete backwards compatibility with every single PS2 game. But that is literally the only thing that Sony has done for backwards compatibility. Yeah, it's not gonna lose the magic card that's hooked on. So there's really no reason to fear there's really no reason to keep pounding the A button whenever I get a bite. But Microsoft, they're doing better. Microsoft is keeping as many 360 servers as they can open, and they are saying, hey, we've stopped manufacturing the Xbox 360 because we have the Xbox One out. But that doesn't mean people still can't play the Xbox One games, because the fact that they stopped manufacturing the Xbox 360 altogether means that it has become a collector's item, and if you can get your hands on if you have your hands on a brand new, never opened, old model, like launch date Xbox 360 with game collectors and console collectors, it's probably worth in the thousands right now. And the fact that people are still looking for the Xbox 360s, even though they have stopped production, just goes to show you how good of a corporation Microsoft really is. And Microsoft, they lose money. They have lost money since the Xbox original. And they don't care. They've diversified their entire company so much that Bill Gates literally has a cell in probably every single market. And it's actually amazing that he's been able to do that, because it's given him the ability to enter the console wars between PS3 and 360, because he owns the platform. He literally owns the operating system that most, if not all, of Steam games runs on. So even if the console wars destroy both the gaming parts of Sony and Microsoft, it doesn't matter, because Bill Gates still has Steam. He still has Windows. He has all the hardware. He's got just about anything you can imagine. And I'm not trying to say that as a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. It just means that as soon as he entered the console wars with Sony, Sony lost. Because Microsoft and Gates will never, ever go bankrupt because of the Xbox. Ever. Sony, they're basically pouring their heart and soul into the PlayStation, which is a good thing, but they're focusing too much on it. They haven't diversified their company much since, because they still make their speakers and they make decent quality TVs. But that's about it. Between the PlayStation, their speakers, and their TVs, that's about it. And it's really sad when you think about it, because Microsoft doesn't make TVs, but they have Windows, which alone makes up for the losses that Microsoft takes on the Xbox. And that's why they've made the One S at a $300 price. The Halo 5 version of the Xbox One S is $300, 500 gigabytes of memory, and literally comes with free codes to both the Master Chief Collection and Halo 5 Guardians. And you know what that means? That means you are paying $300 for 5 games, technically 6 if you count the remastered graphics for Halo 1. But it's just graphics. It literally just overlays them at the touch of a button. So it could be considered a second game in and of itself with different graphics, or you can consider it all one game. Doesn't really matter. What matters is it comes with 5 games that at their core value are worth $100 to $150 each. Probably more upwards of $200, because Master Chief Collection makes up maybe $50 to $70 worth of stock of that price. And then you've got Halo 5. Halo 5 right now is around 120, I think a little less than 120 gigabyte game. They're coming out with updates for Halo all the time. They just came out long ago with a huge patch, a huge update for Forge for both Windows 10 and Xbox One. And I know I'm talking about all of this while playing Pokemon, but that's fine. That's not what I'm mainly here to discuss everything and everything. I'm not here to discuss specifically Pokemon, although I know it's a series. I know I should be talking specifically about Pokemon, but I have ADHD. What are you going to do? I'm going to get off on tangents all the time. It's not really something I can control very well. I'm 19 years old. I've dealt with ADHD all my life. I don't like staying focused at all, which is why I'm surprised I've been able to do so much with YouTube. Because not only can I not focus on one thing very long, I can't talk about it for very long either. So quite literally, the first few, I think like 3 or 4 episodes before I started going off on my tangents, where I was just like silent or barely commentating on what happened, that is actually, those were actually some of my worst videos in my opinion, because not only was I barely talking, I was barely giving any meat to the video. And here I am talking about Microsoft and Sony, the console wars, Nintendo backwards compatibility, over fishing and basically farming Magikarp. That's what I'm doing. I mean, it's not that I'm doing it on purpose. It's just that my mind starts to wander, and getting it out in the open is the only way that I can really stop thinking about it. And just then, I went off on like 3 or 4 different tangents there. I started at talking about stuff I talked about in my last video. Save real quick before I forget. I talked about, I think I talked about politics last video, for some reason. But that's basically where I am. And I'm really not looking at this as something I have to do. It's something I want to do. It's something that I've been watching for 3 or 4 years now. I watched Sparkles back when I watched Captain Sparkles back when he was doing his I believe he was still doing ultra modded survival back when I started watching him, which that's a pretty good ways into his channel. But that's where I jumped in at. I watched Syndicate back when he was doing Black Ops 2 videos. I watched, oh, who else was it? There was one other person I got really big into around that time. There was Rooster Teeth. I got into Rooster Teeth right after Volume 2 ended. I watched Volumes 1 and 2 in like 2 or 3 days. And actually, no, it was more like 1 because I was completely obsessed with the show. And then I was waiting for Volume 3 like it has to come, I need it. And now Volume 4 is just around the corner and I'm like, I can't stop watching the show. It's just something I do. It's something that I want to do. It's not something that I have to do. I really have 188 experience points until I level up again. That's going to be a really interesting. Anyway, I know that's like way more tangents than anyone wants. It's way more information than most people want. But frankly, I don't really care. I mean, you can say anything you want. You can tell me my channel sucks. I don't care. I'm still young. I'm still learning. And I'm not just saying I'm young because I'm 19. I'm saying I'm young because I am young in YouTube. I literally have been doing YouTube for about 3 days. No, not 3 days. That's a little bit of an That's a little bit of an understatement. Probably like 3 weeks, if even. Wow, that was fast. Okay. That was pretty funny, actually. I just guessed at 2 trash cans. Let's see what happens here. I've got a level 13 person, a level 13 cent. You've got 1 Pokemon. Why do you just have a Raichu? That is a level 28 Raichu. Dig. It doesn't affect Sandshrew. Sandshrew dug a hole. Mega Punch. Raichu's attack missed. Dig. Well, then. I'm going to use Dig again. Because there's no way he can one-hit me. Oh, he one-hit me. Okay. That's fine. I still have Pikachu to fall back on. I think I just beat this guy in like 3 seconds. Anyway, quick attack. Pikachu used quick attack. There you go. Critical hit. Raichu used Growl. Yeah, attack's down, but you're in the red. Really now. X speed. You really wasted a move for X speed. Quick attack, because I'm still faster than you using quick attack. I forgot what multiplier was applied to Fly. I just need to find Fly now. TM24. Anyway, that was Lieutenant Surge. I found Cut. I beat Lieutenant Surge the very next video. That's pretty great, I think. Yeah, I know it's useless against ground types. And now that I've beaten your gym leader, you guys are completely useless. Like, I'm not even kidding. That was just the weirdest thing that's ever happened. Like, it's not even that I barely kept up with him. He was literally one of the easiest gym leaders. Like, it took me, I think, 2 tries for Brock, like 5 tries for Misty, and then I get down here to Lieutenant Surge, and I beat him on the first try. It's just like, well, what? Why were you there then? I mean, seriously, why were you there? I have 3 badges now. I'm 9 episodes in. This is episode 9. Yeah, episode 9. I am 9 episodes in. I have 3 badges. That's 1 badge every 3 episodes. I don't think I'm going to be able to maintain that rate, but might as well try. I mean, you know, it's going to be a little hard. I don't want to withdraw a Pokemon. I want to deposit Sandshrew, and then I want to deposit Mankey. Yeah, but that's basically what I'm looking at here. Anyway, I'm gonna go get Squirtle, and then I mean, I beat Lieutenant Surge, so yeah, I'll take care of Squirtle. I'm not gonna give a nickname to Squirtle. Alright, let's go up to the town above here, because I know to the right there's a Snorlax. I established that in the next video. Or in, not the next video. I established. Past tense. Past tense, guys. Established that in the last video. Jeez, and I have so many problems speaking. Why are you still thirsty, man? Like, do you need me to get you a girlfriend or something? Let's just go back to Cerulean City and see if there's anything I can do up there. I spent like 20 minutes farming Magikarp, but that's okay. I didn't even catch a Magikarp, even though, you know, Gyarados would probably help. Didn't I leave a Clefairy in the daycare? Oh, I left a Clefairy in the daycare. That's going to be incredibly expensive to get back. What's over here? Oh yeah, there's an area over here that you have to cut down. Pokemon. Charmander. Cut. Now, what's over here? Oh, I have to fight somebody. Alright, let's go for it. You have Pokemon with you. You're mine. Well, that's very... Save real quick. I like how saving makes the emulator lag a little bit. Anyway, we'll make it as far as we can. That's an Oddish, and I have a Spearow as my starting Pokemon. Are you sure that is a smart choice? Yeah, you won't stun Sport. Now Spearow is paralyzed, which means its speed is halved. And it has a pretty good chance to be to not be able to move. But yeah, that's what that means. That means it's got that means a paralyzation halves a Pokemon's speed and gives it a status effect to where it may be unable to move. Which is kind of weird if you ask me. Not the being unable to move part, that's kind of what paralyzation means. But the fact that its speed is halved, it's really weird. Yes, I'll change Pokemon. I'll change to Charmander. Because Charmander is my only other Pokemon that can super affect grass types. Oh, come on. Charmander's asleep. I hope you guys can't hear that. The cord on my mic's being pulled too tight. And and the vibration's going through the entire headset. Why are you still asleep? Pokemon. Pikachu. Like, that's probably the stupidest thing. Poison powder. Yay, Pikachu is now poisoned. Slam that Bellsprout that poisoned you on the ground, Pikachu. Hurt by poison. Probably gonna take me down to 50. Oh, that's 3. Slam. 3's not so bad. Alright, we'll beat her. Try and go get Pikachu some help because I may not be able to get Pikachu help. Because I just jumped over a fence. I'm gonna call it a fence. It's not really a fence. I've been looking into some of the other